We are getting our little pieces of equipment here set up, and we'll be with you in just a moment. And you would think by now, there we are. And this is crooked, but I'm leaving it. And I'm going to kill that for now. Got it? Got it. And Ralph is with us this morning. Good morning, Ralph.
And can you slide this way a little bit?
Yeah, man, I'm trying, but this is Facebook's fault, folks. I want you to know that. They no longer support the landscape view, which is what we have used for a very long time. So now we're trying to squeeze into a smaller screen space on Facebook, and it's a bit of a challenge, but we'll do the best that we can. You ready?
I'm ready.
Oh my goodness. I'm not going to start yet. I need to turn that monitor up just a bit.
Watch your foot.
Yes, you do. Good morning, everyone. As you can see, this is more complicated than we like to make it look. There we go. Sometimes things just don't come together as easily as we'd like.
Whenever you're ready. In the sanctuary of our Lord's protection and the stronghold of our Lord's defense, with His love our spirits are illumined as we glorify His name. Our hearts are blessed. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
didn't take my guitar strap off. I almost couldn't hit the pedal. Good morning, everyone. Good morning out there in Zoom. Yeah, Andy, I saw your note. I don't know if you noticed, I tried to soften up some on the guitar. I don't know if it helped at all.
It did.
Oh, okay. I'll admit I do bang on my strings. Daryl doesn't like it, and I keep doing it. I'm sorry. But good morning, Gilbert, and good morning, Evelyn, and good morning, Hushong and Andy. Hello again. Hope everybody's doing well. And then good morning, Ralph. And I know that Jeremiah is out there in the cosmos somewhere. Good morning. It's wonderful to see all of you. And we have some people over here in Facebook. Nini is not with us yet. In fact, I don't think she won't be joining us. She's on the road coming back here. She went down to South Florida, and she's on her way back. I just want to, you can see who is here. I can see the names now. We usually can't see them. Let's see. So good morning, Yassine, and good morning, my children's godmother, Mamie Hodges, is joining. Good morning, Mamie. So glad you're joining us. Yeah, wow. That's wonderful.
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah. And Evelyn Aparicio. I wonder who that is. I know who that is. Good morning, Evelyn, and I'm assuming that Renee is there with you. Good morning.
Good morning. This is Renee.
I kind of assumed that, but I didn't want to, just act on that. But good morning, Renee. Glad you're joining us, man. How you doing?
Yes, I'm doing all right. How about yourselves?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Aloha, Pa. How you doing?
Aloha, Terry.
Aloha. I don't. Did I say hi to Terry?
No.
I did not. I just left you
I
out.
thought you were ignoring me, but
Oh, man. No. My apologies.
I'm just kidding.
How are you this morning?
I'm great.
That's good. That's good. As you can see, I'm still fighting with cords here.
Yeah.
Anyway, how you doing today, Daryl?
I'm good.
As you can see, I'm fighting.
How about a prayer, Tony?
You didn't ask me. You didn't ask me how I was doing. You don't
How are you
care, do
doing?
you? You don't care. You don't. Yes, I'm doing fine. Thank you. Thank you. I think I'll say a prayer for nearness to God. There are so many beautiful prayers in this prayer book. If anyone, I've said this before, but I always choose a prayer from the prayer book. We don't have to pray from the prayer book, but there are so many beautiful prayers that were revealed by the Bab and Baha'u'llah and Abdul Baha in this book. Anyway, they cover everything. Here's a prayer for nearness to God from Abdul Baha. He is the compassionate, the all-bountiful. O God, my God, thou seest me, thou knowest me, thou art my haven and my refuge. None have I sought, nor any will I seek save thee. No path have I trodden, nor any will I tread but the path of thy love. In the darksome night of despair, my eye turneth expectant and full of hope to the morn of thy boundless favor. And at the hour of dawn, my drooping soul is refreshed and strengthened in remembrance of thy beauty and perfection. He whom the grace of thy mercy aideth, though he be but a drop, shall become the boundless ocean. And the merest atom which the outpouring of thy loving kindness assisteth shall shine even as the radiant star. Shelter under thy protection, O thou spirit of purity, thou who art the all-bountiful provider, this enthralled and kindled servant of thine. Aid him in this world of being to remain steadfast and firm in thy love, and grant that this broken-winged bird attain a refuge and shelter in thy divine nest that abideth upon the celestial tree. And again, this is a prayer by Abdul Baha. I feel the need to point out that when we read prayers, regardless of the occasion, sometimes, the pronouns don't seem to stack up with what we're praying about. Or we're not, I shouldn't say what we're praying about, but maybe we might be praying for a group or we might be praying for an individual. We don't change those pronouns in these prayers that are revealed by Baha'u'llah, the Bab, and Abdul Baha. We are told, no, the prayer still is powerful, but you keep the language the same. So even when it's singular, it can still apply to a group, or if it's something that has a feminine sound to it, like sometimes the prayers say handmaidens.
Handmaiden.
Yeah. or servant, it can still apply to anyone without changing the words. As you know, if you've been joining us, or even if you haven't, we're continuing our study of the book, Baha'u'llah and the New Era, An Introduction to the Baha'i Faith by J.E. Esselmont. And we are in the chapter, Baha'u'llah, the Glory of God. And we're going to be finishing this section today because we are on the last two sections, which are, well, I should say we'll finish this chapter today because we are on the last two sections. Good morning, Ameza. How are you doing? The last two sections, and they're very brief. Okay, we're going to be reading a brief, I guess you could say a little expository writing about Baha'u'llah's writings, and then a brief portion about the Baha'i spirit, and that will be the end of this chapter. And yeah, so anyway, I guess we're going to go ahead and get started because I can go on and on, can't I? And often do.
And we're going to talk about his writings, Baha'u'llah's writings.
Yes.
The writings of Baha'u'llah are most comprehensive in their range in dealing with every phase of human life, individual and social, with things material and things spiritual, with the interpretations of ancient and modern scriptures, and with prophetic anticipations of both the near and distant future. The range and accuracy of his knowledge was amazing. He could quote and expound the scriptures of the various religions with which his correspondents or questioners were familiar in convincing and authoritative manner, although apparently he had never had the ordinary means of access to many of the books referred to. He declares in the Epistle to the Son of the Wolf that he had never read the Bayan, although in his own writings, he shows the most perfect knowledge and understanding of the Bab's revelation. The Bab, as we have seen, declared that his revelation, the Bayan, was inspired by and emanated from him whom God shall make manifest. With the single exception of a visit from Professor Edward Granville Brown, excuse me, to whom in the year 1890, he accorded 4 interviews, each lasting 20 to 30 minutes, he had no opportunities of intercourse with enlightened Western thinkers. Yet his writings show a complete grasp of the social, political, and religious problems of the Western world. And even his enemies had to admit that his wisdom and knowledge were incomparable. The well-known circumstances of his long imprisonment render it impossible to doubt that the wealth of knowledge shown in his writings must have been acquired from some spiritual source, quite independent of the usual means of study or instruction and the help of books or teachers. That says that Baha'u'llah's knowledge was inherent. He, without having gone to school, he just knew things.
Yeah.
Sometimes he wrote in modern Persian, the ordinary language of his fellow countrymen, which is largely, which is largely admixed with Arabic. He wrote the purest classical Persian. He wrote in the purest classical Persian. He also wrote with equal fluency in Arabic, sometimes in very simple language, sometimes in classical style, somewhat similar to that of the Quran. His perfect mastery of these different languages and styles was remarkable because of his entire lack of literary education. In some of his writings, the way of holiness is pointed out in such simple terms that the wayfaring men, though fools, shall not err therein. In others, there is a wealth of poetic imagery, profound philosophy, and allusions to Mohammedan, Zoroastrian, and other scriptures, or to Persian and Arabic literature and legends, such as the only poet the philosopher or the scholar can adequately appreciate, such as only the poet, the philosopher, or the scholar can adequately appreciate. Still others deal with advanced stages of the spiritual life and are to be understood only by those who have already passed through the earlier stages. His works are like a bountiful table, provided with foods and delicacies suited to the needs and tastes of all who are genuine truth seekers. It is because of this that his cause and had effect among the learned and cultured, spiritual poets, and well-known writers. Even some of the leaders of the Sufis and of other sects, and some of the political ministers who were writers, were attracted by his words, for they exceeded those of all other writers in sweetness and depth of spiritual meaning.
Hmm. You know, Daryl, first of all, I want to say good morning to Nina, who just got here after a long, long, long drive, and she's choosing to join us, which is phenomenal. How you doing, Nina?
Good morning, Nini.
You can't hear her in Zoom, but she just said she's good. We're not making her up. She's really here. Folks in Facebook land here heard her, I'm sure. But this, I guess everything that Esselmont says here, of course, is pretty clear, very, very clear. But I personally feel for people to really get what he's saying, you can only really get it by hearing or reading the words yourself. And I would dare say for most people actually reading the words themselves. And that's just my own opinion. You know, I'm just expressing my opinion on that. I think when you speak to most Baha'is, we can all point out, you know, particular passages or particular tablets or books of the faith that are either directly from Baha'u'llah or based on the words of Baha'u'llah, either through Abdul Baha or the Bab. And I actually was surprised when I read here, when you were reading, that the Bab says his writings, the Bayan, were inspired
By him whom God shall make manifest.
Exactly, and that's a definite, clear reference to Baha'u'llah, which he used. So I'll admit that's the first time when I read this a little earlier, that's the first time I really kind of hit me. I'm like, so he is preceding Baha'u'llah, and yet he's being inspired by writings that have not yet been revealed at that time. I just think that's pretty amazing. Yeah. I'm going to stop there.
Okay, so we go on to the Baha'i spirit. From his place of confinement in distant Acre, Baha'u'llah stirred his native land of Persia. Let me start again. From his place of confinement in distant Acre, Baha'u'llah stirred his native land of Persia to its depths, and not only Persia, he stirred and is stirring the world. The spirit animated him and his followers was unfailingly gentle, courteous, and patient, yet it was a force of astonishing vitality and transcendent power. It achieved the seemingly impossible. It changed human nature. Men who yielded to its influence became new creatures. They were filled with a love, a faith, and enthusiasm compared with which earthly joys and sorrows were but as dust in the balance. They were ready to face life, suffering, or violent death. They were ready to face lifelong suffering or violent death with perfect equanimity, nay, with a radiant joy in the strength of fearless dependence on God. Most wonderful of all, their hearts were so brimming over with the joy of a new life as to leave no room for thoughts of bitterness or vindictiveness against their oppressors. They were entirely abandoned to the use of violence and self-defense, and instead of bemoaning their fate, they considered themselves in the most fortunate of men in being privileged to receive this new and glorious revelation and to spend their lives or shed their blood in testifying to its truth. Well might their hearts sing with joy, for they believed that God, the Supreme, the Eternal, the Beloved, had spoken to them through human lips, had called them to be his servants and friends, had come to establish his kingdom upon earth, and to bring the priceless boon of peace to a war-worn, strife-stricken world. Such was the faith inspired by Baha'u'llah. He announced his own mission as the Bab had foretold that he would. And thanks to the devoted labors of his great forerunner, there were thousands ready to acclaim his advent, thousands who had shaken off superstitions and prejudices, and were waiting with pure hearts to open minds for the manifestation of God's promised glory. Poverty and change, sordid circumstances, and outward ignominy could not hide from them the spiritual glory of their Lord. Nay, these dark earthly surroundings only served to enhance the brilliance of his real splendor.
Huh. We have a hand. Yes, Nini.
Well, it dawned on me because I'm a Christian. It's that new life. To me, it's more like a new knowledge of loving God to live this life. Because a lot of different religions will like, I'm a Christian, I don't need to change. But because of the more information and knowledge of Baha'u'llah bring.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a new life, but to me it's a new knowledge of recognize of God.
You care to respond?
No, I'll let you respond to that.
Before you respond, could you please share what the comment was? It was
Yes.
not heard.
Yes.
I'm going to take my.
No, just tell him.
What-
As a Christian,
What Nini is saying that is that as a Christian, she's saying it's more a
not a new life.
not so much a new life as new knowledge of God, right? So
So it's not like we have to change everything that we had believed, but it's a new knowledge to add on.
she said it's not like we have to change everything that we had believed. It's just new knowledge that we're adding to what it is that we already believed for a different religion.
Although we have been told that this is not a different religion.
No, we have. That's right.
We have been told that.
This one, but other.
Yeah.
That all.
And she is speaking from her Christian perspective.
Yes, and we need to point that out. I'm going to just pull some. This is a compilation of Baha'u'llah's writings. Usually, when Baha'is purchase their books and so forth, they're often separate. This is one edition that came out years ago, where quite a few of the different writings of Baha'u'llah were all bound in one book. I don't think it's available anymore. I'm not sure. But I'm just going to, just pull some things out here. Here's one from Gleanings. I won't go into too much detail here because frankly, it's rather lengthy. But he kind of is giving a breakdown.
Well, you have to gleanings, but these are gleanings from the
Gleanings
writings
from the writings of Baha'u'llah.
of Baha'u'llah.
Yeah. Consider the past. How many, both high and low, have at all times yearningly awaited the advent of the manifestations of God in the sanctified persons of his chosen ones? How often have they expected his coming? How frequently have they prayed that the breeze of divine mercy might blow and the promised beauty step forth from behind the veil of concealment and be made manifest to all the world? And whensoever the portals of grace did open and the clouds of divine bounty did rain upon mankind, and the light of the unseen did shine above the horizon of celestial might, they all denied him and turned away from his face, the face of God himself. Reflect. What could have been the motive for such deeds? What could have prompted such behavior towards the revealers of the beauty of the all-glorious? He goes on, and I'm just going to jump to the bottom of this particular paragraph. But having weighed the testimony of God by the standard of their own knowledge, gleaned from the teachings of the leaders of their faith, and found it at variance with their limited understanding, they arose to perpetrate such unseemly acts, because he had actually covered the fact that, the manifestations of God were tortured and so forth. And then he actually gives a kind of a bit of a history lesson. He says, consider Moses, armed with the rod of celestial dominion, adorned with the white hand of divine knowledge, and proceeding from the Paran of the love of God, and wielding the serpent of power and everlasting majesty. He shone forth from the Sinai of light upon the world. He summoned all the peoples and kindreds of the earth to the kingdom of eternity, and invited them to partake of the fruit of the tree of faithfulness. And he goes on to say, so much so, well, he he talks about Pharaoh. He says, surely you are aware of the fierce opposition of Pharaoh and his people, and of the stones of idle fancy which the hands of infidels cast upon that blessed tree. So much so that Pharaoh and his people finally arose and exerted their utmost endeavor to extinguish the waters of falsehood and denial the fire of that sacred tree, oblivious of the truth, and so forth. He then moves, and I'm not finishing that paragraph, but then he moves on to Jesus. He says, and when the days of Moses were ended, and the light of Jesus shining forth from the dayspring of the Spirit encompassed the world, all the people of Israel arose in protest against him. They clamored that he whose advent the Bible had foretold must needs promulgate and fulfill the laws of Moses. He goes on. I won't cover all of that. But then he moves on to Muhammad. Well, no, you know what? I will finish what he says about Jesus. He says, he the revealed, let's see, where's the beginning? To them that are endowed with understanding, it is clear and manifest that when the fire of the love of Jesus consumed the veils of Jewish limitations and his authority was made apparent and partially enforced, he, the revealer of the unseen beauty, addressing one day his disciples, referred unto his passing, and kindling in their hearts the fire of bereavement, said unto them, I go away and come again unto you. And in another place he said, I go, and another will come who will tell you all that I have not told you, and will fulfill all that I have said. Both those sayings have but one meaning, were ye to ponder upon the manifestations of the unity of God with divine insight. He then moves on to Muhammad. Every discerning observer will recognize that in the dispensation of the Quran, both the book and the cause of Jesus were confirmed. As to the matter of names, Muhammad himself declared, I am Jesus. He recognized the truth of the signs and prophecies and words of Jesus and testified that they were all of God. In this sense, neither the person of Jesus nor his writings have differed from that of Muhammad and of his holy book. He then goes on and talks about the Bab. He talks about, and bottom line is, again, he is giving, because again, this is rather lengthy, but he's giving a rundown that explains, again, the repeated revelation of God through the manifestations of God. And each time, mankind spiritually, just like we evolve physically and socially, we evolve spiritually. And that word is only revealed in relative to mankind's ability to understand and apply it for the purpose of improving life here and the purpose of their own spiritual growth. And it doesn't just affect here, it affects the afterlife as well. But again, he gives, again, a lengthy rundown to get people to see that this is a repetitive process. And it's very unfortunate that each time a new manifestation of God comes, and people, again, refuse to accept. I mean, there are those that accept.
It's not just a repetitive process. Excuse me, it's a cumulative process.
I'm glad you said that. Thank you so much.
It's not just repetitive, it's cumulative, because for every stage and every messenger that God sends, the old message is not completely thrown out. There's new knowledge that's acquired, and
Yes.
new life that's acquired, and new rules that are acquired, all the way through this process of spiritual growth. And that's what he's explaining here.
Yes. And he so many times he gives the context of the situation or the circumstances of the world in which he revealed his word. Here's when he says, "Witness how the world is being afflicted with a fresh calamity every day. Its tribulation is continually deepening. From the moment the tablet of Rais was revealed until the present day, neither hath the world been tranquilized, nor have the hearts of its people been at rest. At one time it hath been agitated by contentions and disputes. At another it hath been convulsed by wars, and fallen a victim to inveterate diseases. Its sickness is approaching the stage of utter hopelessness, inasmuch as the true physician," the word physician being capitalized, referring to the manifestation of God or God, inasmuch as the true physician is debarred from administering the remedy, whilst unskilled practitioners are regarded with favor and are accorded full freedom to act. The dust of sedition hath clouded the hearts of men and blinded their eyes. Ere long they will perceive the consequences of what their hands have wrought in the day of God. Thus warneth you he who is the all-informed, as bidden by one who is the most powerful, the Almighty." And as we covered last week, there are times that the manifestation of God, in this case Baha'u'llah, is speaking in his own words, given the authority by God. And there are times when he is actually more of a conduit for the actual words of God. And sometimes the shift from one to another is seamless, exactly.
Right.
And we are still supposed to accept the validity of those words. And I welcome anyone to peruse the writings of Baha'u'llah. And it's.
Excuse me, what book were you quoting from when?
I wish I could tell you. All of that is in Gleanings.
Writings of Baha'u'llah.
Yes, it's in Gleanings from the writings of Baha'u'llah. But as you know, Gleanings is a compilation of writings from other books and tablets. That one, I can't say that I'm positive. It sounds like it may be coming from the Book of Certitude, but I can't swear by that. I'm not sure. But it's this book. But again, this book, I don't believe it's any longer in print. It's a compilation of a variety of tablets and books revealed all by Baha'u'llah. They're all available. Once again, you can get them all for free. There are prayers and meditations, gleanings from the writings of Baha'u'llah is in here. The hidden words are in here. Epistle to the Son of the Wolf is in here. And even if you can't get a bound version of it, I mean, this is what I think I got this in the late 90s, early 2000s, but they're all still available through, Baha'i.org, Baha'i.us. They're all available. And I encourage anyone to, you can't get the bound versions for free unless you know someone. Say that again. Oh yeah, you can get it through Kindle. There is an app called Oceans, where you can get all of those books absolutely free.
Yes.
Just download the app. It's Oceans, Oceans. In fact, if you put Baha'i Oceans in online, you can download that app and have full access to almost anything that we read here, whether it be the writings of Baha'u'llah or other people who have written about the writings. So much is available there.
And also the writings from other religions.
And that's another thing. I'm so glad you pointed that out. So many of this isn't just limited to the Baha'i writings. It's got the Bible in there. It's got writings from Islam. Yes, the Quran. It's got writings from, I believe, Zoroastrianism.
Zoroastrian and the Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, and so they're all out there. Yeah. Someone just put that in. Thank you so much. And you can also go to clearwaterbahai.org, clearwaterbahais.org. I honestly didn't mean to go on and on and on about that, but
sure you did.
All right, you got me. I'll admit, I just, the writings here from Baha'u'llah are just so inspiring. They're so inspiring. I'm going to read one more. One more. This is very short. He who is your Lord, the All-Merciful, cherisheth in his heart the desire of beholding the entire human race as one soul and one body. Haste ye to win your share of God's good grace and mercy in this day that eclipseth all other created days. how great the felicity that awaiteth the man that forsaketh all he hath in a desire to obtain the things of God. Such a man, we testify, is among God's blessed ones. Okay. Baha'u'llah has referred to his word as choice wine. He says this is the choice wine. And so it inspired this song. Bisharat, Tarazat, Tajaliyat, Ishrakat, Kalimati, Bidasiye, Kalimati, Bidasiye, Bisharat, Tarazat, Tajaliyat, Ishrakat, Kalimati, Bidasiye, Kalimati, Bidasiye, glad tidings, ornaments, effulgences and splendors, holy words of paradise, holy words of paradise, words revealed by my Lord, gift of light through my Lord, hidden words now revealed, choice wine now unsealed by my Lord, now unsealed by my Lord, now unsealed by my Lord, now unsealed by my Lord. In the writings of Baha'u'llah, it is written, the seal of the choice wine of his revelation hath in this day, and in his name the self-sufficing, been broken. Its grace is being poured out upon men. Fill thy cup and drink in his name, the most holy, the all praise. Bisharat, Tarazat, Tajaliyat, Ishrakat, Kalimati Firdausiye, Kalimati Firdausiye, words revealed by my Lord, Word of God through my Lord, hidden words now revealed, choice wine now unsealed by my Lord, 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 now unsealed by my
But that was beautiful. Uh,
Thank
is,
you.
there, is there a link to that? And what is the name of the song?
The name of the song is Choice,
Choice
Wine.
Wine.
There is, I guess it's still out there. We actually did a CD some years back, and this is on it. It's got a lot more. Well, it's it's a studio thing.
Mhm.
It was on. This was on that CD, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you look up, I'm trying to remember the name of the group. It was Souls of the
Souls,
Fireside. Yes, Souls of the Fireside. You can find it on YouTube, and it was on a CD called New Day Coming. New Day Coming.
So I have it, I guess. I have it in one of the CDs.
Okay, say that again now.
I have it in one of the CDs that I got from you.
Yeah,
if you have those CDs.
yeah,
yes.
it's on that CD, and it's also on YouTube. If you go to YouTube, put in Souls of the Fireside, and
That was beautiful.
Choice Wine. I'm assuming it'll pop up. It's been so long.
Yeah.
I think it's still out there
Yeah,
somewhere.
yes.
But at this time, if anyone would like to share a song or a reading of your choosing, this is that time. As always, we like to start with our Andy Murphy moment. So, Andy, do you have something to share with us this morning?
Yes.
Please feel free to do so.
Ya Baha'u'llah, Ya Waliullah, Ya Baha'u'llah, Ya Waliullah, Ya Baha'u'llah, Ya
Bless your heart, Andy.
Thank you so
God
much.
bless.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Is there anyone else who would like to share?
Give me a second. I got to look it up.
Please.
A friend of mine passed away about a few days ago, and there was a memorial for her. Her name was Mafarid Kafan. She was the mother of the lady who introduced me to the faith. So let me see. Okay, here it is. Say, O God, my God, thou hast committed into mine hands a trust from thee, and hast now, according to the good pleasure of thy will, called it back to thyself. It is not for me, who am a handmaid of thine, to say, whence is this to me, who wherefore hath it happened, inasmuch as thou art glorified in all thine acts, and art to be obeyed in thy decree. Thine handmaid, O my Lord, hath set her hopes on thy grace and bounty. Grant that she may obtain that which will draw her nigh unto thee, and will profit her in every world of thine. Thou art the forgiving, the all bountiful. There is none other God but thee, the ordainer, the ancient of days. But yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to share? Well then, this is the time that we always like to point out that, number one, I occasionally point out that even though we are, some people make the mistake of thinking we're ministers, we're not. There are no ministers in the Baha'i faith. We're simply doing what all Baha'is are directed to do, which is teach the faith in whatever way you possibly can, or the way that you choose to. Some people, try and live the faith and simply serve as an example. Some people do what we're doing, and some people try and do all of the above in the way that they're capable of. But if you are interested in learning more about the Baha'i faith or getting access to the materials that we often refer to, there are some definitive websites that, I kind of jumped the gun there. We always like to kind of give credit where credit is due to people from different communities that help us with this program, and give special mention to Clearwater Baha'is, who allow us to stream through their website. And thank everyone out there in Facebook land that that chooses to join us, whether it's in real time or or somewhere afterwards. You can find this on Facebook, and you can also find it through the clearwaterbaha'is.org. And if you're interested, well, getting back to what I was saying earlier and getting more information, there are some definitive websites that you can access online. What are those websites, Daryl?
They are www.baha'i.org, www.baha'i.us, www.bahaiteachings.org. And if you happen to be in the Tampa Bay area or in the Clearwater area, you can always go to the Clearwater Baha'i website, which is www.clearwaterbaha'is.org.
Yes. I always like to hold it up to the Facebook camera longer. I'm assuming if people come in Zoom, they probably know, but that's not guaranteed,
Right.
is it? No.
So I will also say that if you go to the clearwaterbaha'is.org website, there are other programs that they share on Sunday mornings. There's one usually immediately following this one that we do, that is hosted or at least facilitated by Gilbert Hakim. And Gilbert's very knowledgeable in the Baha'i faith, and a lot of the topics include how to incorporate Baha'i principles into your everyday life. And Gilbert is very skilled at teaching how to do things like that. So we always appreciate his knowledge.
And I want to say hi to Pauline and Hushang. I don't know if we said hello to them, but they joined us. So good morning, and good morning everyone out there in Facebook land too. I see Jamie's with us. Hi, Jamie. And Daryl.
So yeah, we were coming to the end here. what I would like to tell you is what I tell everybody every week, is that if you are loved, you are truly, truly blessed. If you share that love, everyone and everything around you becomes blessed, and the world becomes a better place. So the one thing that you can do, it's so simple and so easy and so smart, is just share the love. Thank you all for joining us.
Have a good one, everyone. Have a great week.
Blessings.
O people of justice, be as brilliant as the light and as splendid as the fire that blazed in the burning bush. The brightness of the fire of your love will no doubt fuse and unify the contending peoples and kindreds of the earth, whilst the fierceness of the flame of enmity and hatred cannot but result in strife and ruin. We beseech God that he may shield his creatures from the evil designs of his enemies. He verily hath power over all things. Let your vision be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. Be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. Watch over yourselves, for the evil one is lying in wait, ready to entrap you. Gird yourselves against his wicked devices, and led by the light of the name of the all-seeing God, make your escape from the darkness that surroundeth you. Let your vision be world-embracing, rather than confined to your own self. These are the words of Baha'u'llah. Be world embracing. Have a great week, folks. Hopefully we'll see you next week. Take care. Share the love. Spread the love. That's what you say. Share the love, spread the
Share
love.
the love, spread the love.
Just go love
All of
people.
you.
Just do it.
Take care.
Take care, folks.